Hail and hugs, it is I, Wolfgaren D&D, your favorite couch potato Jedi, oldest Beat Saber streamer in the world, unless you can prove otherwise, coming at you with another installment of Minecraft. Today, we will be building a targeting computer for our current build. We are currently working on the Millennium Falcon, and we're going to put in a targeting computer right in that display area there, right over the top of the guns. But first, let me send a shout out to Harris Heller and Stream Beats for supplying copyright-free music, making this content all the better. And you can find out about them down in the links in the description below. But we're going to be creating a targeting computer. We're going to be placing it right above the guns here, and in order to do that, I came up with some ideas how I'm going to do this. This is about 20 hours to create a single block of detail, which, no, I'm not going to be doing it all over the place, but I just had to do it. It was such an iconic thing, I had to put it in. So first thing I need to do is create the palette where I'm going to work, and what I've done is randomly teleported to a desert out in the middle of nowhere, and we're going to take this to a flat plane. We're taking everything down to level 66 and taking away, building up. I chose desert specifically because sand is so easy to work with, as is sand block. The sand just disappears with the sweep of the shovel. The sand block does the same, and I like the sound of it. I'll be honest, excavating can get boring. It can be tedious, all these things that people say. I find it cathartic. I love the sound of the shovel. I love the sound of the pick, and just going on and on. It's actually quite enjoyable for me. But we're just going to do fast motion, skipping around. You can keep track of my progress down on the map segment that I have there in my left hand. And just so you know, this map segment, it's 128 by 128. We are clearing the entire map, taking it, evening it up, all on that level 66, and that's going to be our playing field. That's going to be our palette in which we are going to draw this targeting computer. And so let's get through this. I know a lot of people find this boring. I said it before, I like the sound of it. I like the feel. Maybe I just like destroying stuff. I don't know what it is. The worst part for me is filling in the holes. So that seems to be the most tedious. But it had to be done. There were some areas, a couple places I actually fell through the sand, and are going to have to build up those areas and fill them up. And yes, I understand I could use just a single block of sandstone to do it, but I had the materials. Let's fill the thing up completely. And we're just going to make that happen. But we're just going to keep on digging, and until we get this entire area to that level of 66. And as I stated earlier, it wasn't just about the digging, but it was about filling in the holes and tearing down, building up, getting the entire palette nice and flat and ready for the art and this targeting computer. This is probably one of the slowest prospects. When I ran out of sand, I ended up with the stone and other things. I actually found quite a bit of coal, which I can always use the coal. I also needed the stone. In fact, the Millennium Falcon, the entire process is going to take right around 26,000 stone blocks to complete. It has that nice gray, worn look to it that is going to make up the majority of the build of the Falcon. There's other resources that I'm needing as well, which I still need to collect, but we're going to make this happen. And I'm excited about it. We're going to see how long it takes to put this fully together. course, it doesn't help that I tend to make modifications to every build that I'm working on and everything. Like, for example, the firing guns. I had to have guns that fired, and that was fun to put together. All right, here we are coming to the end of clearing this area. I believe the clearing took about 13 hours all told. It wasn't all just one single sitting, of course. I would come back and forth, but little by little, filling up the last potholes, getting rid of the last random blocks that are sitting out here, just making it, and we've got the flat pallet, and this is what we're building. This is the targeting computer from the Millennium Falcon. This is visible both in the lower turret and the upper turret as they are fighting off the TIE fighters and everything. And so now I just need to grab the colors, the blocks that I'm going to use. I was thinking of trying to keep it as simple as possible while giving the contrast. I ended up going with 5 colors, and was thinking about using brown. We decided brown didn't need to be part of it. But the 5 colors were black, gray, light gray, red, and yellow, and that's going to make up the main part of the targeting computer, as well as the other aspects that I ended up adding to it. Now at the end, we did end up adding a 6th color, which is lime, for a numbering sequence, but that's not the actual part of the array itself, but more trying to fill in some of the extra space that I had after creating the array. But working through storage, picking up the stuff, getting back, and as you can see, we are on a survival server, and we've got it on hard mode, so have to clean up the mobs sometime, and it can be a pain living with day and night, but easily taken care of. And here we are sitting on this wonderful clear palette that we started with. First thing I decided to do was go ahead and take the black carpet, and we're going to spread this all the way around the outside. I'm using carpet. I felt like it was probably the best bet on what I needed to do. It's a 128 by 128, which comes out to, I don't know, how many squares is that? Let's break out the calculator here real quick. Where's it out on the phone? Okay, 128 times 128. So what we're needing is 16,384 carpet in order to carpet this desert biome, and to cover the entire map. First thing I decided was to outline the entire thing in black, which is what I'm doing right here. 128 on a side. The reason I'm using carpet is easy to destroy. It is easy to place. You don't need any special tools to really work with it. Also, carpet as opposed to wool. Wool, you get 3 carpet out of 2 wool, and so it's more economical. And like I said, when you got to cover 16,384 blocks, that's a lot of carpet. So we got started. We started laying things out. I got this first part, the upper part, almost done, and realized that I didn't like the way it was working out, so I had to go back to the drawing board and remap it on paper and everything, and before coming back and actually laying it all down. Of course, I lost that segment. 3 hours later, I come back, and this is where we're at. We are now come back, and I've already got part of the grid laid down. Now, if you remember the picture, what we've got are 2 yellow grids, and between them is sandwiched a circle. And so having to take that 3D idea into 2 dimensions, it's a matter of perspective and what's the word? I'm not even sure what the word that I'm looking for, but perspective, that works well enough. Anyways, angles, we can't work with straight lines. We're working with squares, but this is me trying to juxtapose the 2 grids with the circle in the middle and putting it together. It actually turned out pretty good. I was quite pleased with the end result, but we're just going to keep skipping ahead and skipping through and just enjoy the process. All right, here we are. The grid is finally laid out. It's now time to drop all the red carpet to fill in the rest of this view screen. And that's what we're doing here. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, see that circle interspersed between the 2 grids there in the middle, that middle red section. But I think it turned out pretty good. But it's just a matter now of laying down the carpet over and over and over again. Two hours later, we're brought back, and you can see comparison between my original and what I've got here in Minecraft sitting on the map. And I think I did a pretty good job. Now, some of you may notice on my rendition, there's a yellow block that's completely filled in. That's what I remember from my childhood, was there being a yellow block in there. I haven't gone back to verify with the films, but I'm pretty sure that was there. Anyways, I think it turned out well. Now all I need to do is figure out what to do with that lower quarter of the map segment. And I had some ideas. I'm pretty sure that what I picked out, I think it turned out really well. I'm looking to create a retro design for the controls like you would have seen when the movie first came out. It was back in 1976, I think is when it was released. But I went with some digital numbers, had to come up with a random number sequence, which I don't know if you ever tried to just come up with some random numbers. It's not that easy to do. But then I'm going to put a dial down there and then some big red buttons and everything, and just put that together and make it look, give that Star Wars retro feel. I think I did a pretty good job on it. Now, when I was laying out these buttons, I kind of miscalculated. They were one square taller than they should have been, but I was able to go back and quickly fix those, and so that wasn't an issue for the end product. But it's just a matter of putting things down and making it look as good as I can. One thing, adding some detail, I needed the bolts that are fastening this onto the rest of the components and everything, and so I threw 6 of those bolts in there. Just a little bit of added detail. I like it. I hope you do as well. Here you can see we've got the dial laid out. We've got the 6 red buttons at the bottom. We've got the number sequence in the lime carpet. And now it's just a matter of filling in the rest of the black, and we can call this job done. I guess while I do it, I'm supposed to do this, so let me throw this out there. If you see something that you like here, feel free to mash that like button. I don't know, it doesn't really matter to me other than I'm just having fun putting this together. If you want to subscribe and hit the notification bell, I'm hoping to put out videos maybe once a week or so. I'm not going to be all that prolific with it. I've got a real job, and we're in the process of moving right now, but just loving and having fun putting this together for the community. One thing while doing this, I ran out of carpet at the very end. I had to go back to storage to get those last 2 pieces, but it was a quick jump. We were able to do it. I think, guys, take a look at what I'm holding in the left hand. We're going to take a bird's eye view real quick. I think it turned out stunning. Here we are out in the middle of nowhere. We've got this laid out on a 128 by 128 pallet in the desert. We've got the targeting computer. Guys, comment below. Tell me what you think. Did I do an okay job with it? Actually, I don't need you to tell me that because I know I did an okay job with it. I think it looks amazing. And frankly, what I think matters, right? Because I do this, well, I do it for you guys as well, but it's fun. I love sharing this kind of stuff. Now all that remains is heading back to spawn and installing it. The installation is simple. What we're going to be using is an item frame, and we'll slap that item frame on the display, and then we'll just put that map piece. The same principle that I use creating the wall map, which is just a bunch of separate little maps that are all put together, slapped onto item frames. But here we come back to the lower turret, jumping in there, and we're going to slap that item frame in there. And we're just going to go ahead and throw this map on top of that. Look at this thing. Oh, man, that is a thing of beauty, guys. Let's throw it on there, see how it looks. Boom. Oh, yes. Thing of beauty. In fact, all that remains is to give this thing a nice 24 gun salute, which we're going to do right now, and just call this done. We're going to be throwing the same display up in the upper turret when we finally get to it, but I'm calling the lower turret complete. 24 gun salute, and thank you so much for watching and enjoying. I hope you guys enjoyed this installment. We are going to come and bring this to a close. Let's give you a close-up view of that one more time. But thanks for being here. I am Wolfgaren D&D, your favorite couch potato Jedi, oldest Beat Saber streamer in the world, unless you can prove otherwise. Know that I appreciate and love each and every one of you. It's not just a cliche. You guys have done more and brought light and joy into my life, and I cannot thank you enough for that. But have a wonderful rest of your day, evening, whatever it happens to be. Be excellent to each other, and we will catch you on the next installment. And this is me signing off. Bye-bye.